Okay, good morning to all of you. As usual, all of you know that we have been conducting certain sessions on consultant sharing their experiences, which is part of our initiative which we started at Utilitarian Labs. We call them as the Salesforce Delivery Stories Consultant Knowledge Sharing Experience. It's a series of videos that you have been trying to capture. This is basically an attempt to capture the real life experiences of our consultants from various projects. We have been implementing multi enterprise level projects in different domains. The purpose behind this series is that we wanted to capture those real life experiences, the real life challenges that our consultants have faced in these implementations, and share this knowledge across among all the consultants within the organization. And also we want to share this with the external Salesforce community, so that it's beneficial to many of us. So with that purpose behind this initiative, we have one more session today. Today's session will be taken by Sholina. She's a Salesforce consultant with more than 3 years of experience, and today she's going to talk about her experience in implementing a brownfield real estate project. I think this is a unique experience that we are going to see today, because earlier we have spoken about greenfield implementations. Today we are going to talk about a brownfield implementation where a previous partner failed, and when the customer reached out to us to take up this challenge, it was really a huge responsibility that we took upon us, because customer already had a bad experience on this, on the Salesforce platform. So we had to change that, reverse that, and bring back the customer and ensure that the adoption rates improve. So I think Sholina and the team, development team, took it up as a challenge, and then have done a wonderful job so far. This is an ongoing project, so she will share some of the challenges that we faced, the customer expectations, and how we went about solving these problems. So over to you, Sholina. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Kiran sir. So, good morning, everyone. So, as Kiran sir said, I will be talking about one of the projects that I have handled, which is a real estate project, and it's a brownfield project. So, let's get started. So, for about the client, this is a real estate client who is a very big client in this industry. And they not only have their operations built in residentials, they also are there in commercials as well. So this is one of the very biggest client that we had. But the project that we are talking about is a brownfield project, as I said. So it's basically a bug fixing project. So I'll tell you something about the client. Like let's say the previous partner was XYZ. So the client A has given them the requirements that were very much like they wanted to incorporate it. But the thing that has been given to them was not as per whatever the client has requested for. So there were so many broken things in the Salesforce that like we had to fix, and it took a lot of time and effort for us to get it ready for the client. So what we did was, we have taken the requirement from the client. We have taken the requirement from the client and we have promised them to serve whatever they want. So what we did, just because we want to build the trust first, just because they had a bad experience, so what we did, we whatever the requirements were, we have built part by part, and then we have shown the demo to the client, and after that we have got the sign off, and then we have proceeded with the work, proceeded with whatever the work was. So there were a lot of problems that were there. Like before the Salesforce was implemented, the client was using a system. So that system was literally 16 to 20 years of old system, and a lot of thing has been done manually. So the client was very much, okay, like not the client, but the users, the STNs, which is the sales team members, they were very much accustomed with whatever there was in that system. And they wanted everything to be done like manually, because they were okay with it. But what the client wanted, like they are spending too much time into the system because everything is manual, be it the receipt, be it the car parking, be it whatever the flaps works and everything. So everything, just because it was too much of manual efforts were there, and the sales team members, they have to be on the field as well. So what happened was, the client wanted to lesser the time on the computer screen or on the system, and wanted a system to be built in a flow so that the time could be reduced. So what we did was, we have given them the system, we have given them the solution. The solution that we have given from our side was, the customer didn't want the STMs to spend more time into the system and want to like generate more revenues and generate more leads and everything. So what they asked for is a very basic and simple system, but yet it needs to be faster. So what they wanted was a process that will cover the sales, I mean the pre-sales and the lead generation as well. So they have CTI inbound in this. And for the booking processes, what they wanted was, like once the leads gets generated and gets registered into their Salesforce, into the Salesforce, they wanted they wanted the booking process to be very much simpler, like starting from site visit to site visit done, then different then cancellation workflow. Let's say if the customer doesn't want to, let's say the customer has booked flat number A203, that is a 3 BHK, and after few months they don't want to be they don't want to be in this flat. They liked another flat, that is E501. So in that case, what previously the customer used to do, everything was manually being done. So what they used to do was, they used to take approvals from their higher authority, then put everything into papers, and then the flat was, like whatever the flat that the customer has chosen later, was handed over to them. But what we did was, we have built a system, built into the Salesforce system, a thing called flat swap. Okay, it's known as flat swap. So what happened in flat swap is, let's say from A203, if the customer wants to be in E501, then what they have to do is, they just have to follow some few processes. That is, for the booking processes, 10% of the minimum amount has to be deposited. So what is happening is, after the first receipt is being generated, for the flat swap purposes, so the receipt for 203 and 2E501 is being transferred within just 4 steps. And that is like, let's say I'm generating it, like I'll put the name of the customer, then I will put the preference of the customer, the reason, and then take the approval from the CRM team, and will give everything, like transfer everything to 501. Be it the demand letter, be it the receipt, the initial payment receipt, and be it anything. So we have built this one, and then there's this another feature that we have given to the client, is the car parking automation. So what happens is, for the car parking process, let's say I'm booking a flat. So if I'm booking a flat and I need a car parking space, I will just say to the client, I will just say to the real estate client, the STM, that I need a car parking. So it has been given automated into the system, where the car parking is being automatically assigned, like whatever the available are there. So they will just have to click on the box, and it will be automatically assigned to the customer. And let's say if the customer wants a parking which is more than one, let's say I want I want 3 car parking spaces. In that case, you just have to click 3 check boxes, and it will automatically get transferred. And there's this one more thing that we have done. Was the demand letter generation. So what happened was, the demand letter was getting generated, but was getting exhausted and was not getting saved anywhere. So due to which the client has faced a lot of issues, because when the customer in the previous times before Salesforce wanted the demand letters, so they could not give it to them. Let's say I'm the customer and I have lost my demand letter and I'm asking for a new one. So in that case, it was impossible for the client to take another one and um, give it to the client. So in that case, what we did, we have provided 2 options. That is, you can download it into PDF, and then you can download it into document. So if you are downloading into document, then you can edit it as well. So let's say if something gets changed, then it can be given, like it can be edited into the demand letter and then can be given to the client. So this was the feature that we have given. And now I will come to the GST portion. So what happens is, if you are in a real estate business, GST plays a very important role. And in that case, GST changes as well. As we know, the GST changes in every year or in every 2 years. In that case, we have given an automated space for the customer where GST, let's say if the customer is in Hyderabad. For example, the customer is in Hyderabad and the GST for this, GST for Hyderabad is SGST and CGST both combined in 18%, which is 9% each. So in that case, let's say this I'm talking about 2024. I'm talking about 2024. And let's say in 2025, my GST transfers from 18% to 20%, that is 10% each. In that case, what we did was, you have given a space where this GST will be automatically populated even if it changes. So if the GST changes from 18% to 20%, it will automatically reflect into the system. And this is something that we have built. This played a very major role, and this populating the GST was a very challenging thing for us, because it's not easy to easily populate like whatever the state codes are and then populate the GST into that same thing. It was not easy. So that was a challenge for us that we have faced while giving the solution to the clients, is because they want to reduce their screen times. And then I will come to the SAP integration. Okay, so there's this one more feature that we have built into the Salesforce, and that is the payment schedules. So what happens in the payment schedule is, if I'm booking a flat, so while booking a flat, there will be multiple payments that I have to make, starting from the initial 10% of the booking amount. So what happens is, while for the payment schedule, we have given them different boxes. So let's say, for example, I'm paying 1 lakh. I'm paying 1 lakh for the initial payment. So in that case, my let's say I'm getting a flat for 60 lakhs and I have paid already 1 lakh. So 59 lakh is my balance. So what happens is, this will show the percentage here of how much percentage is left to be paid every month. And if the customer chooses to pay 50%, that also a workflow that we have built. Though this is a brownfield project, but this is an implementation that has been done from our side. That is, let's say let's say I'm the customer, I want to pay 50 or 60% in the initial days, and then the rest I want to pay in every month in EMIs, in the bank drops. So we have also given the bank drop options to them. So in that case, what happened is, this helps them to track, like how much the client has given, how much is left, and everything that could have been tracked. So yes, these are few of the things. These are very few of the things that I'm telling about that we have built into the system, and the bugs also. So the challenges here in bug fixing. The first challenge was SAP integration. So what happened is, the customer has changed like 3 vendors. Okay, so we were working with the third party vendors, but the customer has changed it thrice, stating that these are the freelancers. So the customer was actually working with the freelancers for the SAP integration part. It was a challenge for us, because we were connecting with the we were connecting with the freelancer, and then the freelancer was getting changed, then again connecting, then again, and it was like happening again and again. So the last SAP integration, like the last partners, they were also the freelancers. So what happened was, the requirements were there, the requirements were very clear, but we could not connect with the third party vendor because of multiple reasons. Because we were stating like, these are the dependencies that you need to clear to integrate SAP with the system, with Salesforce. But what they did was, they were not even like trying to understand, or there has been an understanding gap or communication gap that was there. So for making them understand, or making making things clear to them, we had to take multiple sessions with them. And in that case, I went to the client location on weekends, just to, because they are freelancers, they only work on weekends. So I had to go to the client location, I had to sit with them, get all my requirements done, get all my priorities, all my everything like straight, like this has to be done, this has to be done. And then what happened was one day, like while they're working or while they have worked, they have constantly communicated with us. Even there has been some situations where they have screen shared and have shown us that these are the things that we are doing. So this is how we have done the SFA integration part in Salesforce for this client. So, and there was one more thing for this client, and that was the CRM team, the sales team, the finance team did not have an understanding within themselves. And by did not have understanding, by that I mean, let's say I'm the CRM person, I'm getting a lead. So I have to transfer it to my sales team so that they can generate, they can contact the prospect. So what happened was, things were coming, like whatever the system that they were using before, the things were coming to them, the leads were coming to them, but it was not being assigned to the sales team. So every time some person had to intervene just to clear this process. So in this, while we build the system, in this system, everything is quite prominent. The CRM team can see few things, the sales team can see few things, and now the leads are automatically being assigned from the CRM to the sales team in a round robin basis. So, learning from this project, this I will tell you, though it was a very small project, not a very small project, but a small project, but we have learned a lot from this project, like how a complicated system, like how a simple thing can turn into a complicated system if there is an understanding gap. So, yeah, these are the things. Currently, we are giving the post-sales corrections. There are fewer bugs that are happening right now. There are new requirements coming yet to the system. So we are just implementing those things into the project. And the project is still, the technical go live has been done, the business go live has been done, but we are still working with this client. And yeah, you can ask any questions.
Well, like this. So, topic comes. So, firstly, because I love it. Somebody else is this stuff or not delivered. How you convey such a
Yes. So once if you are having a very bad experience with something, then there are chances that you don't want to implement it once again. So let's say for this client, they did not have any belief in Salesforce anymore. So what we did, just to build the connection and to build the trust again, what we did was, we have taken the requirements, but while developing it, what we did, we have put it in different phases. We have let's say we have implemented 3 to 4 features into that, or we have fixed 3 to 4 features. Then I used to take the demo with the client, like, see, this were the requirements and this has been done, and this is what we will deliver. So if the client was okay with that, then it's fine, we used to proceed. And if not, then we used to take solutions from their end, like, how do you want it, what do you want it, do you want an extra feature, do you want this to be automated, do you want that to be automated, do you want a drop down here? So we used to get solutions, we used to take solutions, and that is how we have built the trust with the client, so that they continue with the Salesforce.
Yeah. So it's a classic case of incremental conflicts.
Right. Very true. Yeah. Anything else?
No. We also like the way you find it. So, said this is a bug fix, bug fix.
Thank you. So I wrap up the session here. Thank you so much.
Ah, thank you very much, Solena. You covered it very well. And as much I know, just for your consumption, this was Solena's first, I would say, real estate project. So it would have been more difficult for her, although, uh, uh, we are recording. That's not the show, right? That's client probably because the video is being recorded, right? Okay. Okay. So rather than emphasizing your question itself, and that is where Utilitarian Lab 40 has been. that how do you gain the confidence of a client, especially in brownfield project. So of course it was a challenging project. I wish the delivery manager of this project could have been here to explain you the nitty gritty, that how what did it actually take. Actually, as much I know, we had to do, I think, initial 2 weeks of our delivery without having any agreement or any understanding, informal understanding in place. Customer was fed up with the Salesforce, as usually happens, because implementation partners are generally suggested by the Salesforce itself. And if partner like us, let's say, has not done a good job, right, they will not be fed up just with the partner, they'll be fed up with the Salesforce itself. And in that environment, introducing a second or third partner, as Solina said, that probably we were third or fourth partner. We were third or fourth partner. Huh. Okay, sorry. Just a correction. Okay, SAP, I think, third partner they had.
Sir, colors,
Yes.
honestly, call it a dog.
Uh,
But this is classically a red egg.
correct. And that is where, yes, it is not just about real estate. This was not first real estate, brownfield project that we had got. In RCG, again, for the reasons of privacy, we cannot declare, but in RCG, we had got multiple such project, which had, from Salesforce perspective, those account had gone into red. Again, we do have another consultant sitting here from the automotive industry, right? And in automotive industry as well, we do have that kind of history. But again, this is not something to talk about, right? Yes. You can call it. We can call it that. Probably by the kind of people that we do have on the floor, right? We have been able to establish that kind of credential. But again, this is going to be a consultant type of conversation, so let us not bring sales into that conversation. Although I might sound, but here I was primarily just to fulfill the absence of the delivery manager, who for some reason could not be here, to thank Solina for giving us a wonderful walkthrough of whatever implementation that we have done with respect to this client in the last 2 3 months. Thank you.